Alright, so I have to rant out. I have to air out my thoughts here. Because there's a couple of things that I do not like with what they're already going to be doing for Season 2 when they introduce the trailer for the summer spring update. Now, I just want to add on that I apologize for the overall gameplay that you're seeing in the background. I sort of try out Jack, and I am liking the character a whole lot. More so than before, where in Season 2 he came out kind of broken, and by kind of he was, with the 2-1 into the stance mix-up that he does. I like how he is now when they did the nerf, so I am planning to actually play some Jack, and I apologize to anybody else who may not like Jack specifically because of that reason alone, but I do like his gameplay. I do like his combo game. I like a whole lot more as well than in Season 1, so you probably might see him in the future if I do end up playing some more Tekken 8. Now, let's move on to the topics in mind. Let's go with the positives first and then the negatives last. So, the positives. The new stage. This might be listed as a negative to most people, but for me specifically, I actually genuinely like the Pac-Man stage, right? I like that they added also a floor blast to it. They shouldn't have to, but they did. So I really do typically enjoy this kind of style, in my opinion. The only thing that I do not like, and I agree with anybody that talks about stages in general in Tekken, is that it's paid. You gotta pay to get the stage. So I don't agree with that, but again, seeing that it's a paid DLC, we have to buy it, and it's a separate stage that you have to buy separately, so that's the other negative thing as well. But if you did manage to buy the character pass alongside the stage bundle, then it's, you know, it's whatever. You have to pay a little extra, but it's still cheaper than having to buy them separately if it's available as a bundle, that is. So that's the only negative thing that I can see about the stage specifically, but I have heard that some people have attributed to the idea that the Pac-Man stage looks a lot similar to the Tekken 7 geometric stage in Tekken 7 specifically, and it does look a lot like it, to be honest. It's just more Pac-Man themed than the one in Tekken 7, which is all white blocks and green blocks mixed in. So I completely understand from that perspective why they don't like the stage, and it's, again, a paid stage. Then I also like the idea of, you know, what they did for Kuma and Panda. They're going to be adding some more colorful outfits, or in this case, fur outfits for Kuma and Panda. Though, yes, I also agree with people that that should have been in the game from the beginning. We should have already had the ability to change the overall color palettes of the fur for Kuma and Panda. Instead, what they're doing is that they're going to be adding these outfits for free, of course, but they'll be separate. It's not like you can now change the color palettes of Kuma and Panda. They're just going to be giving you some more outfits that will be more colorful. That's their whole idea, which makes no sense, to be honest. You could have just made it so that we can now change the color for Kuma and Panda. I don't know why they couldn't just do that instead. But it's still a bonus, and it's free, so we can't really complain. Yeah, we can complain. Then, of course, the overall best thing is that they're going to be doing some new patches, some new updates to the game, actually coming very soon. May 13th, very soon, in just 2 days, it's going to be coming out, and then June 3rd right afterwards, and then from there, with some other update, they'll be coming around the summer. So that's one thing that I do like about what they're doing. So they're gonna be at least updating the game every month. It's just that I don't know whether or not if these updates are small or big in terms of how they're gonna be buffing things in the game, or nerfing things in the game. That's what I should say instead. And that's about it. That's essentially the only positive thing that I can mention, because that's the only thing that I can see that is a positive. Now, the negative. I don't understand as to why it is that the dev team, when they thought that Fakuram was a good idea to add for the second quarter of the character pass for the season, that he should be the new returning character to Tekken 8. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Fakuram. I actually genuinely like his gameplay. Yeah, he was broken in Tekken 7, and then they essentially dumpster fired him at the last season, I believe. They made him very weak. That's what people say. In my opinion, I still think he's very strong. So I don't know. But I genuinely do like his gameplay. Genuinely like it. I like how he's this ginormous, monstrous character, right, that knows Muay Thai. I like his abilities too, like how he has this gigantic, like, thunder-strucking kick that he does. That if he gets a counter hit, gets like a launch for it. And his guard break properties that essentially are things that have been copied from him to characters like Brian and other characters like him, you know, that have the similar guard breaking property that he has as well. And I do like that, even though it's annoying, but it's whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I do like Fukuram. It's the idea that they thought that he was a good choice to add him in season 2 in the second quarter of the season, when we already going through a negative turmoil with season 2. The best option that they could have done if they were going to be adding him was in the third quarter of the season for the character pass. He should have been as the third DLC character, not the second. You know what people have really been wanting to see in DLC format for the second quarter of the season? Armor King would have been a perfect choice. He is the best choice, the best overall choice to add him in the season. People have been hyping themselves, wanting this character to come out in season 1, and he never did. Because instead we got Lydia, and we got, well, he actually was quite hyped, to be honest, even though they announced him dead, but still, very hype. But either way, Armor King would have been the best choice for season 2. Okay, Anna was already announced ahead of time, that they already hinted at that she was going to be coming out as the first DLC character. But second would have been easily been Armor King, especially if you wanted to bring back the loyalty, the overall hype back to the community, since season 2 was a flop. They could have easily made it so that Armor King would have been the second DLC character. They added some new stuff for him, right? He has a new stance or some shit. He has a new cool outfit. The drip would have been amazing to see. Because the Tekken 7 drip that he has now is amazing as it is. But imagine if they can somehow top the one in Tekken 7 to Tekken 8. I feel like they can't top it. There's no way they can top it unless they, instead of giving him like the black leopard mask, cheetah mask, whatever he has, instead now it's like more of a steel armored looking helmet that looks like a jaguar or like a leopard, right? All blackened and all that stuff. Imagine if they did that instead. Though I doubt they'll do that though, to be honest. But it will be cool. Like whatever it is that they're gonna be doing for his outfit, I'm just hoping to see something really like banger for him that will fit him for Tekken 8. But yeah, they didn't think of adding him in for whatever reason. And if not him for whatever reason, maybe Miguel. Miguel would have been a better choice. Or Bob would have been a better choice. Or Gundryu, in my opinion, would have been a better choice. But no, Fukuram wasn't a good choice. Because he already has a notorious history with Tekken 7 when he released. Like, the character itself wasn't a bad character. People liked Fukuram. It's the fact that when fighting him, it was so obnoxious. No one wanted to fight against Fukuram. He was a broken-ass character. Same thing with Leroy when he came out as DLC in Tekken 7. Which, might I add, why did he come out in the full game release? But Fukuram is DLC again? Same thing with Lydia. That's the other thing too, why people don't like the idea that he is coming back as DLC. Not only was he notorious, but he was also a DLC in Tekken 7. So was Armor King, but I'm not gonna lie, there's just a bit of bias. I would actually pay for Armor King because I like Armor King. And I know that so many others like Armor King. No one really gives a shit about Fukuram. If it was Bruce, they would have actually preferred him, to be honest. But no, we got him as DLC again. Lydia again. Eddie, for some reason, he's became DLC. He should have been released at the main game. But no, they decided to make him DLC. Same thing with Heihachi, but he was supposedly dead, and he's not dead. So it makes no sense to me. They thought that this was a good idea when the season itself is already getting so much negative feedback. It makes no sense to me. It could have been a better choice if it was Armor King, maybe Miguel, maybe Bob. If they really wanted to turn it around, like really turn it around, and this is an if, Jinpachi or Ogre would have been a better choice. Jinpachi or Ogre would have made more sense to me. That one of the most beloved characters, I'd say, in Tekken Tag 2 was Jinpachi, I believe. I'm not too sure though, so I'm maybe just taking this out on my ass really when it comes to that. But I've heard that people really like Jinpachi. And I saw gameplay of him in Tekken Tag 2, and I really would have digged the fact that he would have come back. And Ogre, 100% Ogre too, even though he is like an amalgamation of other characters mixed in. But imagine if they would have like updated him and given him some newer moves that make Ogre himself, like he becomes his own character with his own moveset. Not like a copy of, again, an amalgamation of other characters' movesets mixed into one. So that would have been really cool to see. But no, we didn't get that. Imagine like Jinpachi goes into Heat, He turns into a demon with the corns on from his elbows and the demonic mouth on his abdomen. And he starts throwing fireballs from his mouth. From his abdomen mouth, I guess. That would have been super cool. So lit to see that. Or Ogre, he turns into true Ogre. Right? That bat ogre chimera looking thingy in Heat. That would have been cool too. But no, we're getting Fukaram. Again, he would have been better as the third DLC, not second, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure that Fukaram 2 will have some cool aspect to him as well when he goes into Heat. Like the thunder strike, aura or glow on his chest and back. That's gonna be more prominent when he goes into Heat. I know people are gonna like that. I'm gonna like it too. Just that I don't like it that he is coming out in the second season quarter. It just doesn't make any sense to me why they thought that was a good idea to add him in. So yeah, that's basically what I'm the most negative trait of this trailer that they've done. I would have easily thought that they're listening to feedback, and I guess not. Maybe they thought of adding him in from the get-go in season 2 before the whole riot of season 2 being a flop and all that shit. So yeah, I'm not gonna say that I'm bummed out and that it's gonna completely deter me from playing Tekken 8, even though I haven't been playing for a while now. But if the patches, the most important thing is the patches, if it's good, if they do a good job with what they're going to be doing, at least, improving some of the aspects that we don't want to see in the game. I'm hoping that they fix the tracking. That's the one thing that I tend to harp about the most, is the tracking, and then sidesteps, which they did buff again in season 2, but I would like it to be better in my opinion. And if not the sidesteps, and at least the movement when it comes to backstepping will be nice to see an improvement on. And then overall everything else, like the heat, the heat smashes, there's so many things they need to work on. I wouldn't mind tolerating the 50-50 bullshit that we have now in season 2 if that's what they're going for with the game, if they just work on everything else I just mentioned. That's what I think, in my opinion. So yeah, that's about it. I apologize for the rant. If you guys don't want to listen to something like that, I apologize. I just really wanted to air out my thoughts. And yeah, that's it. Love you all. Like if you want to like the video, and if not, you don't have to. And yeah, subscribe, stay tuned, stay safe.